There are a few things that you buy that you know you'll actually use every single day. A keyboard is one of them. The Apple Magic Keyboard is my favorite keyboard of all time. The 2021 model comes with Touch ID, which means I don't need to repeatedly type in my password to unlock my Mac or authorize keychain logins. My name is Safwaan, and on this channel we explore the technologies that help us to be more focused, productive and present in achieving our long-term goals. In this video we're talking about an overlooked piece of tech that helps me to stay productive every day. Today I'm going to cover everything you need to know. I'm going to start with the different buying options for these keyboards. I'm going to look at the new features that are available, and I'll finish with some reflections on why I like this keyboard so much. When this keyboard first came out, it was actually as part of an accessory that would come with the new iMacs. At one point in time, there was no way to get this keyboard unless you ordered a Mac. But now you can order the keyboard separately from the Apple website or in store. The catch is it only comes in silver, but that's not really a problem for me. So there are three variants of the new keyboards. The first one is a standard version without Touch ID for $99 or £99. The second is a standard keyboard with Touch ID for $149 or £149. And finally, a full-size keyboard with a numeric keypad and Touch ID for $179 or £179. I went for the standard keyboard with Touch ID. Because I didn't need a numeric keypad, I preferred that my keyboard takes up less space on my desk, and also it was super easy to stick this keyboard in my backpack and take it to the office if I ever need to. The Magic Keyboard is a Magic Keyboard. There's not a whole lot that's new, but there are a few things to keep in mind. The first and most obvious difference between the old keyboard and the new one are the rounded corners. You'll notice that the aluminium is rounded, as well as the keys on all corners. I prefer this new design. I like the curved look. I think it's very different and it's very Apple, and it represents the direction they're taking their new design language in. So it's a big plus one from me. I like this one. There are 5 new keys on this keyboard. That includes the Touch ID in the top right corner. That includes an emoji button on the bottom left corner. And there are 3 new function keys, which is Spotlight, Dictation, and Do Not Disturb. Importantly, these new keyboards are designed to work with Apple Silicon Macs, and I've also read it works with a 2021 iPad Pro. If you intend to use this new keyboard on an Intel Mac, it will still work, just not the Touch ID. The Touch ID only works with the Apple Silicon devices. Finally, the Magic keyboards ship with a braided USB-C to Lightning cable. With that being said, what's the big deal? Why do I like this keyboard so much? This keyboard is made from aluminium, so it feels robust, but at the same time, it's very lightweight. I also like that this keyboard is at a slight angle, so it's a little bit easier on my wrists when I'm typing for a long period of time. The underside has a matte finish rather than a gloss finish, and that means it picks up less scratches over time. I also like that this keyboard has rubber feet. I use a keyboard mat, but if I didn't have one, like I would in the office, for example, it's nice to work from it because it doesn't slide around on the desk. In the grand scheme of things, this is not a fancy keyboard. It is expensive, but it's not like a fancy mechanical keyboard. Having said that, I find it so satisfying to type on. I really enjoy typing with these keyboards. I've also tested it in the past. I type more words per minute using the Magic Keyboard than I would with a mechanical keyboard that has slightly bigger travel and slightly more tactile feedback. Maybe I haven't experimented with enough mechanical keyboards. I just know that I work really well with the Magic Keyboard, and if it ain't broke, don't change it. So I'm gonna keep things the same. I'm gonna do a little type test for you now. As with a lot of keyboards now, this comes with a rechargeable battery. I think this is a must-have because it saves you having to buy AA's and stick them in a battery each time. It's just nice to plug in your keyboard overnight, and then the next morning you know you've got a fresh battery and it's ready to go. It's very frictionless. You don't have to think about it so much. In my opinion, 9 out of 10, this is worth the upgrade. There are a few things that you buy that you know you'll actually use every single day. A keyboard is one of them. I love the Magic Keyboard with Touch ID because it seamlessly integrates with my Apple devices. If you already have an Apple Magic Keyboard, especially a non-rechargeable one, I would recommend the upgrade. It's not often that Apple upgrades their keyboards or mice, so when they do make that change, it's just worth making the jump. It's not like you're gonna buy it and then a new one's gonna come out the next year. Why did I say it's a 9 out of 10 upgrade, not a 10 out of 10 upgrade? There's one feature that's missing from this keyboard, and that's having backlit keys. I think this would be really nice in darker environments because you can see what you're typing more clearly. If you think of the MacBook Pros, they all have backlit keyboards and you know exactly what that looks like. It would be great to have that on the Magic Keyboard. Plus, I think it's slightly more aesthetically pleasing. It'd just be a nice touch to have. In a nutshell, the 2021 Magic Keyboard with Touch ID is the same dimensions, the same materials, the same angle. It's mostly the same, bar the Touch ID and some function keys. But I think it's the time you save using Touch ID or even the emoji button. I've used that more often often than I'd like to think I would have done. It's a proper time saver. Like the amount of times I use these buttons throughout the day, it all adds up and it saves me time and it makes working so much more convenient. I'd highly recommend the upgrade, but if you're not a fan of Apple or Magic Keyboards, then check out this video of the iQUE Unix F96 Coral C.